Hi again. John Wesley Bready, This Freedom, Whence, England Before and After Wesley, page 318, talking about the impact on the British Empire of the Evangelical Revival. If the influence of this continuing revival on the United States was thus pronounced, its influence within the British Empire was not less permeating. Professor G.M. Trevelyan, after pointing out that the strength of the evangelical movement, quote, like that of the earlier Puritanism, unquote, let's continue the quote, like that of the earlier Puritanism was always among the laity. And then he says, quote, evangelicalism brought rectitude, unselfishness, and humanity into high places and into the appeal to public opinion. The strongest type of English gentleman in the new era, Trevelyan further avers, whether Whig or Tory, was often evangelical. The army knew them with respect, and India with fear and gratitude. Their influence on Downing Street and in the permanent civil service, through families like the Stephens, gravely affected our colonial policy on behalf of the natives of Africa and the tropics, for the great good of mankind. That's the end of Trevelyan's quote. Bready goes on, in India, the names of such valiant pioneer missionaries as Carey and Martyn will ever be associated with the development of all that is best in that great land. Sir Charles Grant, the first avowedly Christian chairman of the East India Company, backed by the great banker Henry Thornton and all other members of the Clapham Sect, succeeded in imparting even to that hardened commercial corporation some sense of conscience and trusteeship. As for the government of India, Lord Teignmouth, also a member of the Clapham Sect, and the first president of the British and Foreign Bible Society, strove zealously during his 5 years as Viceroy to impress upon all departments of the administration their stewardship both to God and the people of India. Later, too, Shaftesbury, as Commissioner of the India Board of Control, emphatically took the position that unless Britain secured for the Indian people a fuller measure of happiness and education, a truer equity, and a more abiding prosperity than they possibly could achieve for themselves, she was but a usurper, that is, Britain was but a usurper within that country. The new sense of service and humanity injected into the British administration of Indian affairs was a product of the new conscience created by the Evangelical Revival. As for the heart of Africa, the labors of those dauntless missionaries, Livingstone and Moffat, emblemized the highest contribution of Christian civilization to the most primitive peoples. The name Gordon of Khartoum, too, is synonymous not only with selfless chivalry, but equally with uncompromising Christian opposition to the slave trader, the tyrant, and the exploiter. Or follow the enthralled African to his new habitation in the West Indies, and there again the labors of such courageous missionaries as Knibb and Smith, together with the devotion of such dedicated laymen as Sturge and Sligo, were the harbingers of hope and freedom. In the self-governing Union of South Africa, furthermore, the evangelical emphasis on the brotherhood of all mankind and the sanctity of all personality has proven the most salutary and effective influence in restraining the whites from overreaching themselves in their relationship with the blacks. In the autonomous British Commonwealths of Australia and New Zealand, evangelical Christianity has been too strong to permit the domination of any hierarchical or oligarchical faction or clique. There also it has been a sobering, educating, inspiring, and democratizing influence, contributing bountifully to the character and institutions of the people. In Canada, the same is true. So vital indeed were certain impacts of the revival in establishing the liberty and culture of all that expansive dominion that they warrant some detail. So he goes into that detail in the next segment on the impact of the revival in Canada itself. I'll put in a link to 2 takes on slavery and the Civil War, and also the Clapham Sect playlist. See you soon.